Hi, sixth grade. This is my first video for this week. We are going to learn something new. It is how to draw atoms. So we are going to go over the content in this video. I'm actually going to post two more videos after this week. One of them is going to be just an example video on how to draw these, and the other one is going to be how to do your assignment. So just know your assignment, I don't think I'm going to grade it, but I do want you to complete it because I want to make sure that we are understanding this topic, because I think we are going to need to go back and review this next week. So let's go ahead and get started with the content portion of it. So just as a refresher, how do we find the number of protons? Remember, you need to look at the atomic number. That is the number that's in the top of that element box. How do we find the number of electrons? Well, we're going to look at the protons. It's going to be the same number as the protons, so you're going to look at the atomic number. And how do we find the number of neutrons? We need to take that atomic mass, which is the number at the bottom underneath the element name, minus the atomic number. And where is everything located in our atom? Well, protons, they are found in the nucleus, so in the center. Our neutrons, they are also found in the nucleus. And then our electrons, they are found on the outside, which some people think they're in like a cloud, or we are going to view it as they are in rings. So our electrons now, we are going to be drawing our atoms looking like this. So this is called a Bohr model. But before we do this, we need to figure out how many rings we need to put around our element. So you can kind of think of this P as being our nucleus, and then the rings around it containing our electrons. So in order to find how many rings, or you might be also hearing them called shells, how many rings or shells we put around our nucleus, we need to look at the periods on our periodic table. So I have a periodic table right here. So remember, for our periodic table, the periods are the ones that are running horizontal. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 over there on the side. So moving on with that, knowing this, the period number that it falls in is just going to correspond to the number of rings that it has. So if your element is in period 1, that means it's going to have 1 ring around it. Period 2, 2 rings. Period 3, 3. Period 4, 4. 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. It's just going to correspond to the number that it's in. So for lithium, for example, looking at the periodic table, lithium is right here. That is in period 2. So lithium is going to have 2 rings around it. So we have 1 ring, 2 rings. So now that we know how many rings are going around our element, we need to find out how many electrons are going to be in each ring. So each ring contains a certain number of electrons, and we know the periodic table, they all differ by the amount of electrons that they have. So some, they're going to have a lot of rings with a lot of electrons, and others are just going to have maybe 1 or 2 rings with a few electrons in them. But each ring can only hold a certain amount of electrons in them. So ring 1 can hold 2 electrons in it. Can't hold any more than 2. If you have an element that has more than 2 electrons, you need to have another ring around it. And ring 2 can hold 8. Ring 3 can hold 18. Ring 4 can hold 32. Ring 5 can hold 50. And ring 6 can hold 72. And I'm not even going to say what ring 7 can hold, because we are never going to draw an atom that has more than 6 rings. We might not even ever get to 6, but it's just nice to know. So, after you have your rings, you know how many electrons each ring can hold. How many electrons each ring can hold. You can also look at the groups to make sure that you are even drawing it correctly in the first place. So our groups, remember our groups on the periodic table, those are the vertical ones, they run up and down. So if you are confused on how many electrons you should have in the last ring, so the ring that's on the very outside, so whether maybe that's just your first ring or you have 4 rings, how many electrons need to go into that 4th ring, just look at the group number. It'll tell you this. So when we are looking at these electrons are called valence electrons. You will hear me say that again, so that's why I want to make it a point for me to say it. They are called valence electrons. The ones that are located on the last ring or the outer shell. And just know for this, we are completely skipping the transition metals, so groups 3 through 12. They differ a lot in their electrons and how to draw Bohr models, so we're just going to completely skip those. So for our groups, group 1, you're going to have 1 valence electron in the outer ring. Group 2, you're going to have 2 valence electrons in the outer ring. Group 3, you are going to have 3 valence electrons in that outer ring. Group 4, you are going to have 4. Group 14, you're going to have 4. Group 15, you are going to have 5. 16, you are going to have 7. 16, you are going to have 6, I apologize. In group 7, now you're going to have 7. In group 8, you are going to have 8. Group 18, you're going to have 8. Ignore that 18. It's supposed to be 8, okay? So, like I said, I am making another video that's going over these examples on how to draw the Bohr models. You might be finishing this video, it's like, okay, I got all that, but how do I actually do it? Watch that next video and it's going to show you how to do it. And just know for our Google Hangouts this week, I am also going to be showing you how to draw them on that, because I think we're going to need, like I said, more instruction over this. It's a hard concept to do remotely, but we will try our best with it. All right, see you in the next videos. Bye, guys.